Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next episode of the Huddle with your host with the most, Mr. Gage Ryan. How you doing, Gage?
Lovely. That's my co-host Ron. How are you, pal?
Well, glad we don't pick lottery numbers. How's that?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we would not be getting any of the money.
As a Steeler fan, though, you would if you had a lottery ticket as a Steeler fan, it would probably give you all of the winning numbers except like one or two, and then they would probably try to tell you to be grateful that you got the amount of numbers in a row that you did.
And thank you for playing and have a nice day. And here's your
Yeah.
$2 back and shut up. You know,
See you
right?
next time.
Right, exactly. Well, that's kind of how I feel about with the Steelers and what just happened here with this most recent game against the Chicago Bears. They had an opportunity to go into Soldier Field and put up a good game against a, a surging Bears team.
Hmm.
Okay, the Bears haven't been 7-3 since what, early or mid 2010s or something like that.
Dwight Eisenhower was president.
No. They're 2000 like 12 or 13 or something like that. I think they started the season off like that and ended up going to the playoffs that year. But and I think if the Bears continue to keep going, if Williams keeps continuing to play the way he's playing, and the Bears continue to play the way they're playing, their defense is good. They've got good offense. I mean, it's a 1 year coach. So, I mean, he's doing really good for his first year, right? You give the
I'd say
man some props.
a dramatic amount of progress in a very short amount of time. And that's what you expect from a guy like Ben Johnson. Like we expected it. Like
Exactly.
you saw that it took the Detroit Lions. They're kind of, reassimilating into form somewhat nowadays. But you saw that there were definitely some growing pains when they didn't have Ben and they didn't have access to all the things that you're seeing in Chicago now and whatnot. He took on the project that was Caleb Williams and he's doing, I think, better than probably anybody would have expected.
Boy, that cat is good, man. I mean, I've seen him
He's
play in
solid.
college. Yeah, I've seen him play in college. And I mean, I was like, all right, okay. And when you play as lackluster as the Steelers did on offense, and then not even bother to show up on the defensive side of the ball, you're gonna not win many games like that.
Do you know the exact moment that I was pretty confident we had just lost? It was when we were on the last drive. We got to it was like 3rd and 8 or something like that, and they went with slants. They got like 2 yards, and they had
To
no
Metcalf,
timeouts.
yep, and you're just like, really? Did you just do that again? I am not sure I understand what's going on here. I
Do you remember the Russell Wilson 2-minute drive from last season where they just did everything incorrectly and burned up all the time and just threw check downs? It felt a little bit similar. It wasn't as bad as that one for sure, but that was because that one was pretty bad. But this felt almost similar.
I mean, all you had to do was get to the 45.
Hmm.
You know what I mean, right? You got the golden legged, brass balled kicker from death sitting on your sideline. All you needed to do was get to the 45, and y'all couldn't even manage that.
Weren't they measured up to, wasn't it like a potential like 63 or 64 yarder?
Whatever.
Which I still no, but like what I'm saying is like I still would have taken that. Like with Boz, I'd have given it a shot.
Like I said, all you needed to do is get to the 45. What?
He was like 58 or 59 yards was his season
Right.
long, or I think he might have hit a 60 yarder at some point. Like,
Yeah,
dude,
come
it's 3 extra yards.
on.
Boz can do it. It makes a little more sense than no, let's go slants and then hurry up to the line of scrimmage, not get set basically, and just kind of throw the game away with no real
Or
hesitation.
using up your timeouts during the first part of the third quarter.
Yeah.
You know, you know, okay.
Who's surprised? Show of hands. I wanna. Oh, none of you. Okay, great. All right.
All right.
Just wanted to check.
surprised that there was very poor clock management and the fact that we wasted our timeouts and we get down to the last part of the game where we could actually potentially either tie it up or win. And you just you choke.
Oh
You
man, it was a
lost that
game that we needed
situational
too.
ball. Yeah.
Lost in
You
situational ball. And like that's the thing is didn't we talk about this on the show last time where it's like how Tomlin was all about situational ball at practice and how it's always like, all right, you're at the 13-yard line, it's first and 10, you got two timeouts, there's 45 seconds on the clock and it's past like it you would think for a team that is so adept at situational football that they practice it so much that they would be just a little bit better at it.
So that's assuming a lot there, Gage. You're assuming that they actually practice that, that Tomlin actually puts that out there and says, okay, it's first and 10 on the 13-yard line with 45 seconds. Do you really think that he's doing that for this team? Because if he is doing that for this team and they're still not able to do it, then that says a lot about the team. And I find that hard to believe because there is some talent on this team. Okay, I don't care what anybody says. There is some talent on this team, but once again, it just feels like it's not being used as effectively as it could be. Why are you having Gainwell, who pretty decent player in his own right for what he's
Yeah,
capable of doing? Why
pretty
is he
solid.
running short yardage plays? Like I don't get it. I,
We got to bring it, like, especially when Jalen's building momentum, they'll just like pull him out and be like, all right, here's Kevin Gainwell now.
What? What are you doing? No, wait, say, wait, what are you doing? Right? I mean,
Oh
come
man.
on. I'm gonna go back to the same analogy that I did the last time. Wow. Ding, that hurt. Hmm. Ding,
And
yeah, that hurt.
this
Wow.
is going to be a game that at the end of the season you're going to regret. This is
These
going to be one
last
of
couple
those.
games, these
Yeah.
last couple games, okay, that Indianapolis game, this game, right? There's a couple games on this schedule or on this past couple games that the Steelers have played that are games that you should have been capable of winning. Okay, and you should have won. You had an opportunity to win, and I'm so sick and tired of hearing well, he didn't take advantage of the situation that presented itself, and it's like I try, man. I try really hard to listen to the Mike Tomlin press conferences. I really
I
do,
can't. I
but
can't.
it okay. I'm gonna show my age here now. Do y'all remember Charlie Brown?
Sure.
Right? And Charlie Brown, when Charlie Brown spoke to his teacher or any authority figure, adult figure, wah, 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 wah. Right, right. That's exactly what Mike Tomlin sounds like to me during his press conferences. Do you know what I mean? Like it, it's always the same. He's always proud of this group or disappointed with this group or
it,
how
there's never an answer that's real. Would you agree with that?
I would 100% agree. Mike, can you just give me something real from right here? Just talk to me from right here, brother. It's okay. Really, it's okay. You can tell us. We can handle it. We know the pressures of being a head coach. We understand. Come on, man. We're willing to give you the benefit of the doubt. Every single second of every single week, everybody gives him the benefit of the doubt. I am so sick and tired of that, man. I need to have him being held accountable. At some
Yeah.
point, you got to hold the guy accountable.
I think him and Art both need a big share of the blame here. I mean, I think that like whenever we're talking about like coordinators, I think that's just it's kind of beside the point. I think that we're kind of it's like shuffling deck chairs at that point. I think that the
See,
problem is much higher up.
I saw that a lot this week after the game lost. I mean, okay, it's only Tuesday, but I've seen a lot of the social media talking about, how coordinators this and how this and that, and we talked about it on the last show. Where offenses come to die in Pittsburgh. But it's not per se that. Look, when you look at all the great coaches out there, the Tom Landrys, the Bill Belichick's, the you know uh the Bill Cowers, the pick a
Mhm.
coach, the Bill Parcells, right? Those guys all have coaching trees,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Like there was
Yeah.
a lot of guys underneath them that were their offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, or backs coach, or running backs coach, or whatever, that turned out to be successful head coaches in the NFL, won Super Bowls, the whole 9 yards, right? What is Mike Tomlin's coaching tree?
Not a lot. Matt Canada.
We got Ken Wisenhut, who actually started under Bill,
Mhm.
right? So you can't really count him.
No, these guys like Wiz and Russ Grimm and whoever, like, no, those are all cow cower branches, if anything, right? Like, and I wouldn't go that far. So, and
Right.
like that would be like saying that like Dick LeBeau is part of the cower tree, and that's also just not true.
So you get what I'm saying, right? There's nobody
Yeah.
really from Tomlin that has gone on to coach other teams. Like there's nobody banging on the door for any of the offensive coordinators or defensive coordinators or any of their positional coaches to be head coaches anywhere else.
I think that you can see a lot of the issues with that kind of stuff in the way the Steelers play ball. I was hoping that we could touch on this at some point. That it's really a matter of like the characteristics of the team rather than the actual plays themselves. Like, why is it that regardless of coordinator, we kind of run the same concepts on defense over and over? Like, why is it regardless of coordinator, we kind of get beat by the same concepts over and over? Why is it that like regardless of coordinator, we always punt it whenever we should go for it. We go for it whenever we should punt it. Like we kick off whenever we should onside. And there's just this long list of like very tone deaf decisions in big moments that will always hinder us. And I think you saw a nice little glimpse of that this past game.
Do you know what the answer is to all of those questions? It's
No.
one answer. It's one answer. Because not only are we seeing it this year, but we see it the last 15 or 16 years, right?
It would appear to be that Mike Tomlin is kind of the reason behind a lot of these decisions. It seems to be the one consistent factor. But like, listen, I think art is also a part to play in this. I think that like, because the way that Dan used to be is the way that art tries to be and kind of fails miserably at, if we're being honest. Dan kind of had this like, all right, well, we need to reestablish the run game. Whereas like Art has this very like he'll say all the cosmetically correct things, but I'm not really sure how far he's pushing it behind the scenes. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Because he's not clearly. Because please be the man that fires Mike Tomlin.
He
If, and this is
doesn't
something
have
that
the guts.
he doesn't. He clearly does not. And that's a shame too, because his old man would be slapping him upside the head right now. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, come on.
We had Brian Flores. He was right there. He was right there, and we had to make sure we kept TA. We had to make sure that we kept Tomlin. We're a team very scared of change, but like with that comes like the rigid set of principles that'll get you to about 9 wins a year and whatnot. I think that Brett Coleman and EJ Snyder kind of made the joke. They're like, yeah, 55% of the time it works, 45% of the time it doesn't. Like that's where
You're
we're
going to
at.
be successful at least 55% of the time. Hey, all right. You're beating the odds. Right. Yeah, the problem with that, though, is that look where you pick in the draft
Mhm.
on a regular basis. So you're not really getting good draft players. Because let's
Mm.
face it, once you get out of the top 10 in the first round, it's all pretty much a crapshoot. I mean, it's a crapshoot, those first 10, top 10 guys, anyways, but it's even
Mm.
more of a crapshoot once you get past the top 10 guys, right?
There's a difference between elite and very good, and that fall off can be pretty drastic.
And even between very good and starting, or starting
Yeah,
and backup. And
yeah.
okay, right? So there's been multiple times over the last few years, excuse me, where the Steelers have been able to draft certain players that they did not. And I think it's hurt the franchise now. Here we are down the road.
Mm.
I think the fact that not only do we have these very poor decisions that happen at very key moments, also coincide with the fact that there hasn't been any quarterback development in Pittsburgh since Ben Roethlisberger was drafted.
The closest thing that you could maybe kind of nitpick, if you wanted to call it a positive, was Mason Rudolph's progression with Matt Canada as his quarterback coach. And even then, we're kind of grasping at straws because he went from like aggressively bad to just, okay.
Bad, yeah. He went from
Yeah.
aggressively bad to all right. I guess
To
he can
backup
hit the
level.
broadside of a barn.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
I think we've also come to the fact that Mason Rudolph is the main character of Five Star Matchup, whether we like it or not. And I don't
All
really
day
know
long.
why it just
All day
keeps
long.
happening. It
And
just
he,
keeps
and then
happening.
he was welcomed back. He left for a minute, and then he was welcomed back. Like, really? You couldn't even like you had to bring him back?
He had like the fan reception of a war criminal when he left, and then for some reason when we signed him, all of a sudden everyone seems to love him.
Well, the way, which is really a shame because he left on a high. He
Mm-hmm.
really played his butt off those last 4 or 5 games there. You know what I mean? Before he left, and tried to do as much as he possibly could for the team. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
especially
So
given the circumstances.
right,
Kenny Kitten Mittens was done and benched. So
exactly. So like I said, made the best of a bad situation.
mhm.
But here we are now, where I'm going to pose this question to you right now. If it's not, I don't think it's a matter of if, I think it's just a matter of when. But when the Steelers have a losing season this year, do you think that'll be enough to get Mike Tomlin fired?
No, no. And as a matter of fact, I think that it's more likely. I don't think either of these will happen, but I think it's more likely that if Tomlin has a losing season, that he would resign or retire or whatever have you. I think that would be more likely than them just straight up just cutting the cord and in front of everybody. He would definitely retire before he let himself be fired. But I don't think they'd fire him. I really don't. I think that they would, you know, I can picture it already. We're like, let's say we do have a losing season where we go like 8-9, we go 7-10, or
Oh, I don't
whatever.
think
I
we're
don't.
going to go that far, man. I think we're done winning games.
Well, let's say it gets that bad. I can already see, the media and a lot of talking heads that are like, oh, those spoiled Steeler fans, they got their first losing season and now they want their consistent, you know, elite coach. Now they want him fired because he had his first losing season, which completely ignores everything that we've been complaining about for the last 15 years
you know.
since since Tim Tebow destroyed our defense in the playoffs. Everyone forgets about that, but I won't.
No, I can't forget about that, man. That is burned forever. Burned
Timothy
forever.
Tebow, one of the
God love
worst
him.
quarterbacks.
God love him. He's one of my favorite people. I mean, he's a Christian. He's a great human being. I love what he does, and I love the fact that he was not afraid to show his faith in front of the world. So God bless him for that. But did you really have to do it to the Steelers? I mean, did you have to pray to have a good game that day? Really, really?
It was so bad. And I mean,
Oh
like the
man.
I've heard people since they're like, well, Ryan Mundy was in for Ryan Clark, right? And you're like, I don't care.
It
It
wouldn't have
was
mattered.
Tim
It would
Tebow.
not have mattered. And
Nah,
why was Ryan Mundy in for Ryan Clark? Because of Ryan
Mile high.
Clark's sickle cell issues. He was not cleared to play in Mile High because of his blood disorder, and so that's why he was not able to play. And Monday got burned. Oh
Got
man,
burned hard.
hard,
uh,
hard. Whole. He got burned whole. There
he
you
has
go.
like the Tim Tebow has like the ugliest throwing motion in NFL history, and that play that slant across the middle where he just like his arm like goes way above his head.
Way, yeah. Oh
And
man, the
it
most
still beat
wretched
us.
looking. But anyway, let's move on to something positive.
Oh
Um,
man.
gosh, well,
Well, I was
it
gonna
ain't
say
the
we got the Bills
Steelers.
upcoming, but I'm not sure that that's
Oh
positive.
gosh, man, can we just like look? We played the Colts, who were 7-3. Now we did beat them, right?
We had
But
6 turnovers and won by 7 points. That's pitiful.
right, like I said, we did beat them. Right. Then we faced a Bears team, that pretty good team, right? And
Solid. Yeah.
solid team, and we were not able to be up to the task. Right now we got the Bills coming in, who in the last two games scored what, close to 80 points in their last two games against some pretty decent teams. So
hmm
I'm looking for the Bills this year to come out of the AFC, because you've seen the drop off from the Chiefs,
Yeah.
right? And
The
and you're
Chiefs.
seeing
Good.
you're seeing the Bills put up MVP type season. I mean, we're my buddy Ryan is going ape snot, man. His Bills are kicking it.
They're doing good, man. And they have Josh Allen and just about nobody else to thank for that. No, but they've been better than they started out not super hot. We
Yeah,
were kind of
yeah.
wondering if like, hey, is Buffalo's time over? They never even got a single championship, before the next wave came in with Drake May and all these other, So it's been interesting to see them like start to find their groove as the season progresses and whatnot. If I had to like, you can't ever convince me to bet on the Bills if Kansas City makes the postseason. That's just kind of a rule I have. They're what, 0-4, I think, and
Yeah.
that's
And
tough.
I uh-huh. That's, oh man. Oh.
And now you got the Chiefs, and the Chiefs, like, they very well may not make the postseason. That's entirely in the realm of possibility.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
I
remember I remember Pittsburgh
Nagy, go
having
ahead.
I remember Pittsburgh having a really decent, good record against Buffalo in the past. Like the first game
hmm
that I ever saw at Three Rivers Stadium was a Monday night game against the Buffalo Bills and the K gun with Jim Kelly, blah, 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 the whole 9 yards, right? And it was raining so bad during that game, right? It was a deluge, right? But it didn't matter, right? It was Monday night, Three Rivers Stadium, watching your Pittsburgh Steelers crush Buffalo. There was like two interceptions that game, and I mean it was beautiful, right? And we've always had a good record against Buffalo, but now that we're seeing the Josh Allen era, you can't say that now anymore in Buffalo, because now Buffalo comes into town or we go up to their place, and you're pretty much going to count on a loss for Pittsburgh here all day long. All day long. This is going to be ugly.
Josh Allen was one of the few quarterbacks that was talented enough to give Bill Belichick fits in his defensive scheme because they did that deep cross stuff. Like I don't have to go into huge detail about that, but it was just this like it was perfect answer to like cover spy or cover one spy and all that different stuff. But when you can give like the defensive goat fits in his defensive scheme, I pray for Mike Tomlin when he goes up against Josh Allen.
It's not going to be
And
pretty.
it seems like they're scoring. They're in the 30s pretty much every time they play us nowadays. We had one good game against Josh Allen like a little earlier on, but ever since he kind of figured out what to do against us, it's been ugly.
Pretty much. Wasn't that the Mason Rudolph game?
Was it? I can't remember. I know that we
That
had
was
a
another that was like a Sunday night game. It was raining that game too or something, and Mason Rudolph kind of came out and played really well, I think, and did that Buffalo game. That was like the only game I think we did really well against them. But other than that, it's been ugly against Buffalo. It's going to be ugly on Sunday. I don't care what anybody says.
yeah. So you're predicting a loss, is what you're telling me.
See, I tried to be positive last week and thought, hey, they have a shot. They can beat the Bears, but no. This week, we got no shot to beat the Bills. None. None.
We both predicted the to lose against the Colts, so maybe the power of our two negative predictions together will be enough to propel them to victory.
Could it be
Because I'm going to predict them to
possible?
lose too.
Could it be possible if we predict, both of us predict a loss, that we could see a 5-star matchup show this coming week?
We need to do that. We need to get
We
some
need
kind
to
of like
do that, man. We
pr-
can't keep going this long without a 5-star matchup show, guys. Come on, Pittsburgh. Let's go.
into pray to the altar of Mason Rudolph, basically, that we can
Oh
pull
my
off the
gosh.
impossible.
This is gonna be stupid ugly. Their defense is much better now. They're averaging like 3 sacks a game now. I mean,
Hmm.
their running game has gotten so much better with Cook, as their offensive, as their running back now. So their offensive game now is much better because they're able to do those play actions, those RPOs, and those kinds of things that are strengths for Josh Allen because they have a run game. Oh no! Terrell Austin and Tomlin ain't going to be able to cover none of that, man. And the zone is just going to get picked apart, dude. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a banner day for the Bills offensively, right?
Do you want a little bit of a tinfoil theory? Do you remember how a couple of years ago the Steeler defense kind of took this big shift towards the bend but don't break philosophy and kind of sitting back in soft zone and holding them to 3 points instead of seven? I think it's because they literally don't know how to stop modern offenses, and so that's how they come to that. Like we could just hold them to three, we'll be all right. Like no,
I'm going to throw some stuff at you here now for you, okay? In the
yes,
last this is just in the last 5 games, okay? Just in the last 5 games. Pittsburgh is averaging 387 yards in the air. Our total offense. Total
total
offense. 300,
offense. Okay.
almost 400 yards of total offense, right?
Hmm.
289 yards in the air on average, right? And close to 90 yards average on the ground. Okay. They, in these last 5 games, have given up over 25 plays of over 20 yards. In the same breath, they have not been able to produce the same on their end. Pittsburgh being the last ranked team in plays over 20 yards. You're not going to
If
win
you,
a lot of games, man, when you give up that much on defense. And you're also giving up an average of 32 points a game. Yeah.
I thought that this was supposed to be one of the best defenses in Steeler history. You remember that was the big hype all offseason.
You mean the most
I just
expensive
well that too.
defense in Steelers history?
Well, that too, but I've had a bad feeling. Not like I'm not saying that I predicted some kind of doomsday kind of season or whatever. I think my prediction at the beginning of the season was 10-7 first round exit. But it just I had a bad feeling about this defense when it got all that hype because there's a different you would agree, right? Hang on, you would agree that there's a difference between like, hey, our defense is really good, watch out guys, and this is going to be the best Steeler defense in history or one of the best Steeler defenses in history. And I was immediately like, this is going to age like milk in the Sahara Desert.
Oh, well, we're seeing how well the Darius Slay experiment is working out. So, does that contributes to the menagerie of goop that is the Steelers defense, right? I mean, let's just say that. Let's also say too that there's been a lot of I want to say, and I'm probably going to take a lot of heat from this, but it seems like there's a lot of conditioning type
Hmm.
injuries on the field.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you're getting cramps or you're seizing up or
Like,
look,
do you remember how there was like five groin injuries like in 1 week or so? There's like five or six groin injuries a couple years back.
you
That's the
know
first thing that makes me think of.
right, and I, I'm also still seeing the fact that this defense has not even remotely tried to scheme for a team. They continuously play the same cookie cutter defense against every single offense that comes to them on the field. There are guys that are every time you look, you see guys lined up 10 yards off the receiver. What are you doing, man? the, every single offense that comes to play Pittsburgh goes, ooh, fantasy numbers, here we come. Because look, every quarterback that's come in has thrown for either 50, 45 times, 37 times, 38 times, has had over 300 yards on offense in the air, has had multiple touchdowns. This is the opposing quarterbacks coming in here to Pittsburgh. Seriously.
This defense, the only good note, I mean, there's a couple good notes, right? Like there's the TJ's been all right, but that not worth his contract, but all right.
Eccles, I
Alex
like how Eccles
Highsmith,
has played. When Highsmith
Eccles,
has been in, he's played well. Yeah.
Ramsey's been all right, and I've actually really enjoyed seeing Kyle Duggar so far. I thought that he's been a better addition than I would have
He has
expected.
been one of the bright spots.
We need guys on the defense that have good IQ, like that have good football IQ. And I feel like we get fooled on defense so often. There's always guys just kind of running 15 yards open. Like, I'm not saying that was a huge issue in this game in particular, but it's good to have guys on defense that maybe can see what's coming.
I see. I'm going to disagree with you on this one, Gage, because I think there are guys on the defense that are smart, that are intelligent, that do see what's going on, but they're playing their position.
Mm,
And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that they're not scheming for offenses and the fact that they're just saying, okay, we're doing, I'm just giving it a name, whatever. We're doing
mm,
X cover two. This is our defense. We're going to play that until that's the call. And it's the same formation for every single play that they line up for. It's the same form. It's like playing Madden,
mm,
right? You play Madden and you pick the cover two, right? And it doesn't matter what team, they all the guys line up in the same spot. There's not one guy on top of another guy or nothing like that. They're just in their formation. They're in their spot. They're going to cover, and you see their little color zones that they're only going to play in, and that's it, right? And then as the offense, you see all of the all of the routes go all opposite directions of where the zone coverages are, right? So you're like, "Oh, well, how do you do that?" Well, how you fix that is you scheme your defense and you put a hat on a hat. You put a guy up on the line of scrimmage, so you bump him off the line. You got 5 yards. Why not take advantage of the fact that you can hit him and knock him down, make him get up to go run his route? There's nothing illegal about that. You got 5 yards to do what you need to do to that receiver, aside from holding or, clotheslining or anything illegal. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Mel Blunt.
Shout out to Mel Blunt, right? Come on, dude. Come on. The
No,
fact
but
that
it
no, go
no, but
ahead.
it's
Go ahead.
it's a problem. Like it's a problem. Like the fact that like we it's soft zone and soft like it's the softest of soft zone. Like Steve makes a joke about it every time on the show, and like I feel bad for him because I know how it feels where he wants to keep making the joke, but it's so difficult to rephrase it over and over. Where it's like, yeah, you just kind of find where the line of scrimmage, find where the first down marker would be. You just kind of run up to it and it'll be wide open. Like it's not hard.
Hi, throw me the ball.
I hate our third down defense. It
We
drives
don't
me
have a third
to
down defense.
distraction.
We
No,
don't
because
have a third down defense.
we give up every third down.
So we don't
Third and
have a third
six.
down defense. We got a first
I
and second down defense, and that's it.
I guess you're right.
That's it. Because we can't stop any team on third down, and we surely can't stop them on fourth down.
Ooh, especially fourth and short. You know they're getting it.
Fourth and a mile. Look, Pittsburgh is the only team that I know you can come in at third and 21 and get the first down.
Oh yeah.
What? It's third and 21. Like any other team in the league, it's third and 21. You pin your ears back and you got everybody coming, right? Not Pittsburgh. Oh, no. You got 3 guys on the line, and the rest of the guys are 20 yards deep.
And somehow, even with everybody being deep, even with all 8 guys like dropping back into coverage, everyone still is just wide
open.
wide open.
Wide open.
Oh man. And we kind of just keep doing it. And like nobody ever changes anything. Nobody ever started. Julian Edelman was right. I hate to say it, but Julian Edelman was completely right when he was like, yeah, Pittsburgh, they just kind of never change anything and they just kind of keep getting beat by the same thing over and over.
That's why we
He
keep
was
getting
right.
outcoached. That's why we keep getting outcoached, because we refuse to change our defense to scheme to an offense. That's why we keep getting outcoached. That's why we keep getting beat.
I think that
We
our
have
defense is a
guys.
good litmus test.
We have guys on our team that are really good at man-to-man coverage. We have
Mhm.
guys on our team that were known man on the island. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? The whole thing, right? You brought
Yeah.
those guys in, and now you're forcing them to play zone. Whoa. Okay.
We take
That's
Joey Porter Jr., the most man-to-man coverage defender in the history of the universe, and we're like, all right, sit back, bro.
And you wonder why he's got so many penalties against him, because he has to run to catch up to these guys because he's playing so far off of them. He doesn't have that kind of closing speed. That's not what he's known for. He can stay with you and he can hand fight you and combat you, and he's going to go up for the ball the same time you are, and he's going to win those combat. That's what you need for a man-to-man coverage guy. He's not a zone coverage
The
guy.
old Chicago Vic Fangio defense is actually a great
Yes.
example of this with Prince
Yes.
Amukamara. I thought he was
Yes.
very similar in that regard. He's always he like Prince Amukamara plays like he knows sign language. You know what I'm saying? Like he's always touching and pushing on the receiver and grabbing them and like always wants to know so he can feel them decelerate and all that. And I feel like Joey Porter Jr. is in a very similar vein in that regard. And the fact that you're
That's how he
telling him to
played through
back off,
college.
the fact that they're
Yeah.
making him back off is just not adequate. It's not a route to success, really.
It's like, hey, Minka Fitzpatrick, you're a ball hawk, but we need you to play center field.
Oh yeah, we need you to. Well, he was a good center fielder, but like, hey, let's make you play 20 yards off the ball that drove you nuts out of Miami in the first place.
Guess where he is now? Back to Miami.
Yeah,
Okay. All
I
right.
wonder. I wonder how he's feeling about that.
Wouldn't mind talking to him just to see
Be
what he had to
interesting.
say. It would be interesting to say.
Yeah.
All right. So you're going to predict a loss. Am I going with that? Same
Yeah.
guess? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 31-17.
Ooh, you're being generous. I'm gonna go 38-9.
Oh my goodness. Hmm.
Well, the
I
Bills are
hear you.
averaging 33 or so points a game, and our defense is allowing 30 some points a game. So they're gonna get at least 30 some points a game, right? And our offense is not even close to averaging anywhere near that. So Boz is gonna trot out there 3 or 4 times. That's gonna be it.
And there'll be another time or two where we could have trotted Boz out, but we're just gonna punt it back to them like in their own territory.
You know,
All the usual.
unless, yep, that's what I'm predicting. 38 to 9. 38 to 9.
I'm with you. I hear you.
Uh,
I
So
kind of agree. I'm just going to be a little more optimistic, just
yeah,
slightly.
right. Like, hey, they'll score a touchdown and a field, two touchdowns and a field goal.
Maybe,
Maybe.
like
I mean,
one or
all things
two.
considered, aside from the interception that Mason Rudolph had, he didn't play that bad.
No, I've heard a couple people say he played trash. He was horrible, and I was like, dude, he's a backup. He's fine. He's adequate. You know,
A backup is gonna look. A backup is only supposed to come in and win you 2 or 3 games. Seriously, that's all they're supposed to do. But if you go up against a team like the Bears, who are, coming out pretty good, playing really good, got a really good record, probably going to make the playoffs this year, you ran into the team at the wrong time. You know what I mean? You're playing inconsistently, and they're playing consistently. You don't
they're
have
building.
enough.
You're not.
You're right. You know what I mean? You're going in one direction, they're going up. You know, I mean, so
You know what I'm kind of seeing more and more is that Mason Rudolph is just Charlie Batch with a better arm, and like that's fine. I don't think that's a problem. He's
I
Charlie
thought,
Batch with a better arm, but he's just the most unlikable backup quarterback of all time.
I thought Charlie Batch had a pretty good arm.
I thought he was better than you would think, but especially when he became a rickety old man. We're like, oh God, please don't die.
But I thought what Charlie Batch's problem was that his decision making was not always the best. And I think that's what kind of Mason Rudolph's knock was too at the beginning. Well, that and the fact that, he was the hot read guy and all he could do was the hot read and that was it.
Overly
Yeah.
willing to take the check down.
Oh, in a perfect world, there's no such thing as a wide receiver screen. In a perfect world, there is no such thing as the halfback check down. No, if you're going to put the halfback out on the line, make him run a route. Bye.
Hey, if
I
Tom Brady
hate
can abuse quarterback to the running back combinations for 20 years, then anybody can.
hate that. That is not a running play. That is a pass play. Okay, seriously, it is a pass play. You threw the ball a few yards, and dude had to catch it before he could run. You didn't get the ball and turn and hand it off to somebody. No, you didn't even pitch it.
So I have a counter, but I'm just going to play devil's advocate for fun here. Does that mean that toss plays are considered pass plays? And ostensibly, does that mean that end arounds, jet sweeps, which are considered pass plays, does that mean that those are run plays?
So, like I said, if you pitch it out, like you pitch the ball.
Toss plays are pass plays?
So, what's a toss play? Is a toss play anything that's going forward? To me, in my mind, is
Well,
a forward
forward, yeah.
pass. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So if you're if you hike the ball and you pitch it, that's a running play because you're pitching it to an end around coming around, or you're pitching it to the second running back because you got the split eye,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the lead back goes, and then you pitch it to the second back that's coming up, and you follow the guy up through the hole. And that's a running play because
Yeah.
you're
You're
pitching it back. You're not putting it forward, right? So even those little underhands that Mahomes is doing, and we've seen guys that kind of do that overhand kind of toss it to the guy. That's still a forward pass because the
that's true.
pass is going forward.
But wide
So
receiver screens are backwards though.
I hate those
I'm
plays.
just playing with you,
I
bro.
hate those plays. The only person that was good at it was Antonio Brown.
They were actually I went back and you can look at some old like Todd Haley era Steeler games and those wide receivers like they would only go for 3 or 4 yards, but they were ostensibly, if you will, they were like ostensibly just run plays that you give some of those reps to your receivers rather than your backs. And I actually kind of thought it was all right. But then once Todd Haley left and like those wide receiver screens fell off a cliff, we have had one. We have had one wide receiver screen. If you could find me more, I'd be elated. But we've found one that has worked so far this year. So we got that. We got the one. Other than that, it's just minus
Whoa.
2 yards. It's just minus 2 yards.
Whoa. All right. Boy, let's keep running that play. All right.
We might get another one that goes for like 7 one of these days if we're feeling
You got to run
saucy.
it 600 times before you get 2 plays that are successful. But I ran it for 600 times.
Never give up and never adjust, whatever you
That's
do.
right. Never die. All right. Well, folks, I'll tell you what. We got a good one here. I think we've pretty much expressed how we feel about our beloved Steelers. Look, the reason why we're like this, the reason why this is so tough, is because we want to see this team succeed. We want to talk about good, positive things like Mason Rudolph playing, or the electric meatball Jalen Warren having a really good game, or the tight ends are now getting more involved, and this, that, and everything else. But the fact that the negative is so overwhelming, it makes it really tough to balance it out. We want this team to win. We're passionate about this team to win. And we're just giving you the straight up facts. We're not sugarcoating anything. We're not here to, you know, oh, yeah, the Steelers are great when they're, 6-6.
We're not
Really?
going to Kaboli it.
That's right. We're not going to Caboli it, right? There you go. So, with that said, we're hoping for the best, even though we're not seeing it. So, I personally feel the time is now for a change in the room. I feel that the voice needs to happen. The change in voice needs to happen sooner rather than later. Even if you do it now, or whatever the case is, or if you wait till the end of the season, something needs to happen in Pittsburgh drastically in order for this team to start heading in the right direction. Like I said earlier in the show, we haven't had any quarterback development here since Ben Roethlisberger was drafted. Folks, that was 20 years ago. Okay, the guy is almost soon ready to go into the Hall of Fame. I mean, you know what I'm saying here, right? Okay.
Just a
I'm
bit.
done now. I'm off my box now. I'm off my
No, no.
box. Tell us where we
No,
can find
it's
you,
it's
Gage.
tough, man. It's tough, and
It is.
it's tough. Yeah, and like there's a hard line in the sand that kind of needs to be drawn at some point, but I don't expect it to. So I'm just kind of we're just appreciating what we got, I guess.
That's
You
right.
know.
The fact
So,
that we get to sit here and talk about this team every week, thank you for that.
mhm.
And Gage, thank you for all you do, man. I love all the shorts you do over there at Five Star Matchup, man. And I love all the thumbs that you put together for the huddle here, man. This has been great. Even though the team hasn't been all that awesome, this show has definitely been awesome. So thank you, Gage, for all you do, man.
Thank you, pal. This wouldn't be possible if I didn't have you. As far as what we can expect moving forward, so we're definitely not stopping once the season ends. But
Nope.
I'm looking forward to some of the topics that I sent. For those that don't know, I
Oh
sent Ron this
yeah.
giant list of topics. So we'll have
Ooh, we got
plenty to
lots of
talk about in the
stuff.
off season. So that'll be a good time, brother.
Yeah, man. Plus, we'll be looking at some potential draft picks that might be coming up, and some potential players that the Steelers might be potentially looking at here that they could potentially bring into the fold, like a quarterback, um, or
Maybe,
maybe.
maybe.
Hey, whatever. What do I
Hey,
know?
maybe Will Howard's the answer. Who knows? We'll see how that goes.
Maybe.
Uh,
I mean, at least he's
as
dressing now,
yeah, that's something. That's something.
right?
At least he's been activated.
He's dressed. He dressed for the game last week. He was backup quarterback because Aaron Rodgers was inactive. He was in street clothes.
John Gruden just thinks he's the bee's knees for some reason.
Well,
I don't really know about that.
I get it, but until I see him,
You got to see it to believe it.
until he becomes the Brock Purdy, I mean,
That's not a bad pro comp. It's actually not a bad
right?
pro comp.
Not bad at all. So,
But yeah, okay. So as far as where you can find me, you can find my MMA content at Contender MMA. You can find my Yu-Gi-Oh content at Gage Ryan Video, and you can find myself, Ron, Frayne, Steve, and the rest of the group at Five Star Matchup for all of our Steeler content you can't find here.
for sure, for sure. Thank you all very much for watching the Huddle, a Black and Gold podcast, where we were covering Week 13 against the Buffalo Bills. Oh my. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in. Please smash that like and subscribe button because you wanna. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find all of our great stuff at the YouTube channel, or you can also find me on X at RNJ underscore media. Thank you very all very much for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.